1 a.m., you are not just losing sleep. You are teaching your brain a lie. Your room is dark. Your body thinks night has arrived, but your phone is still glowing like a tiny sunrise. And once that signal enters your eyes, your nervous system starts changing its mind. In just 15 minutes of scrolling, your brain can begin shifting out of sleep mode. That is the dangerous part. The damage is quiet. It does not feel like damage. It feels like just one more video. We usually think light helps us see, but at night, light does something deeper. It does not only brighten the room, it rewires the clock. The same blue light that helps you feel awake in the morning can make your brain believe it is daytime at the worst possible time. Inside your eye, there are special cells called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells, IPRGCs. They do not just help you see, they measure light. They contain a pigment called melanopsin, and they are especially sensitive to short wavelength blue light, roughly around 460 to 480 nanometers. These cells send a message to the brain's master clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN, in the hypothalamus. The SCN is the body's timekeeper. It decides when you should feel awake, when your temperature should drop, when hormones should rise, and when sleep should begin. So when blue light hits the eye at night, the SCN receives a false message. Day has started. This is not a theory. It is established chronobiology. Researchers such as Brainard and Thapan helped show that the melatonin-suppressing action spectrum peaks in the blue range. Later work identified the melanopsin IPRGC pathway as the reason. In practical terms, even relatively low nighttime light can matter. Studies have shown that around 50 to 130 lux can already produce strong circadian effects, and tablet exposure at night has been reported to cut melatonin by about 55% and delay melatonin onset by around 1.5 hours. That is not a small inconvenience. That is a phase shift. But this is where it gets strange, because your brain does not just lose sleep, it changes state. Picture a student lying in bed after a long day. No noise, no sunlight, just a face lit by a phone screen. They tell themselves, I am resting. But the body is not resting. The eyes are feeding the brain a signal that says the night has not truly begun. So melatonin drops. Alertness rises. The body stays chemically unfinished, as if it has been asked to stay on duty. That is why the person feels tired and wired at the same time. Exhausted, but unable to switch off. And here is the larger question. How many modern people are actually sleepy, and how many are simply chronically mistimed? Because this is not only about one bad night, it is about circadian misalignment, a repeated mismatch between the clock inside you and the world around you. Once the SCN gets the wrong signal, the whole body follows. Melatonin falls, cortisol rhythms stay shifted, body temperature remains too high too late, the homeostatic sleep drive gets interrupted, sleep does not arrive as cleanly. REM timing can move. Sleep architecture becomes lighter, less stable, less efficient, and the next day the cost shows up everywhere. Not only in grogginess, in attention, in mood, in reaction time, in mental clarity. Even the brain's overnight cleanup systems, including the glymphatic system, depend on proper sleep timing and depth. Break the night repeatedly, and you do not just lose hours, you lose recovery. The numbers are already hard to ignore. A review of blue light and young adult studies found that more than half reported better alertness and cognitive performance under blue light, but also worse sleep quality and shorter sleep duration at night. That is the paradox. Blue light can sharpen you temporarily while quietly sabotaging the very sleep that restores you. And it goes beyond sleep. A controlled study in adults found blue-enriched light could increase insulin resistance markers and raise glucose peaks, especially in the evening. That means light is not just affecting the mind, it is entering metabolism. It is talking to hormones, to hunger, to energy regulation, to the body's nighttime chemistry. So the real story is not screens are bad. The real story is more unsettling. Your biology was built for a sky that changed slowly. Sunrise, noon, sunset, dark, but now your eyes can receive a fake sunrise at midnight. A glowing rectangle can tell your brain that it is safe to stay awake when the rest of your life is asking for silence. That is why blue light feels so modern and so ancient at the same time, because it is not attacking you like a poison. It is confusing you like a signal. And maybe that is the deepest damage of all. Not that we are sleeping less, but that we are losing the ability to feel when day ends. The night was never meant to be a bright place. It was meant to be a pause, a surrender, a return. And every time we let artificial light steal that darkness, we are not just delaying sleep. We are borrowing against tomorrow.